You know, you draw an interesting distinction which seems to be becoming more and more important to people today in the business world and elsewhere, the difference between being a manager and being a leader. Why, can we begin by defining that?
Sure. If you look at your hands, Jeffrey, or we have two hands, the difference between managing and leading is between what you can do with your hands and what you can do with your feet. We came to that realization by actually, when doing our research, looking it up in the dictionary, looking up the word manage, and the word manage has as its root the word manos, which means hand. The word lead has as its root definition the words to go, to travel, and to guide. The difference between leading and managing is the difference between what you do with your hands, handle things, control things, type letters, use the telephone, write reports, and what you can do with your feet. Move in particular directions, move in new directions, move left, right, back, forward. The difference between a leader and a manager is the difference between somebody who guides us in new directions towards new horizons and a manager who simply tries to control and contain the way things are.
In other words, it seems as if managers, it almost sounds like manhandle the way you use the word, but managers are involved in a steady state kind of system, maintaining the status quo, seeing that business as usual takes place, that things run smoothly, and leaders are moving us forward toward...
Absolutely, absolutely. My favorite illustration of that is a poster that I got from a colleague named Reno Taini, who happens to teach high school and is involved in teaching high school kids about life and leadership, and his wife Randy Dubois, who run an organization called Treetop Challenges Pro Action. And they're responsible, among other things, for helping to develop young people in an organization named Operation Raleigh, which was started by Prince Charles. And in the poster there is a headline, and in the headline it says, "Venturers Wanted." And I thought, what a perfect description of the kind of people we want as leaders. They're appealing to people between 17 and 24 to take expeditions with them to learn not only about community service, sort of an outward bound Peace Corps, but also to learn about leadership development as one of their goals. And that headline is followed by a photograph, and under the photograph it says, "Join the Voyage of Discovery." And that, I think, is a perfect illustration of the kinds of language that symbolizes what leaders are about. Leading, guiding, discovery, challenge, new places.
I suppose what seems to me as if there might be two forms of leadership. The really extraordinary leaders, the Martin Luther Kings, the Gandhis, who make massive changes in our way of looking at things, but there's also subtle forms of leadership, I would think, and that might involve anybody working in the kitchen, working in a schoolroom, working in business, in which one chooses to view one's work not as a routine, not as a job, but as you said, as a discovery.
In the research that we've done in leadership, we intentionally avoided the Martin Luther Kings and the John F. Kennedys and the Lee Iacocca's and other people who are typically mentioned, the Margaret Thatchers, those folks who, if you were to ask, the general public might mention, and in fact ask people to think about individual experiences that they had had where they would consider themselves to have done, in their opinion, an exemplary job of leading a group of people. And in that process of thinking about their own experience, whether that person was a high school teacher or a high school principal, a college dean, or someone in the Army who wasn't a general but was a sergeant or a lieutenant, or someone who may have just been a middle manager in an organization. We asked those people to relate those experiences, and we found something very simple, that everybody has at least one story they can tell. We concluded that there's a leader within everybody, whether that person's role is school, church, community, home, or business.